So I'm receiving a lot from Spirit, like a lot. And Gamaliel is back. He comes and goes. But he's one of the spirits that talks to me. Besides the angel of the Lord. I know that all sounds crazy, but that's what's going on. And, like, welcome to my world. And, let's see. Alright, so I'm camped out in this one particular spot again tonight. And I was camped here many times. But this reminds me, anyway, the Father was talking to me. Actually, Gamaliel was talking to me about, like, how strange is it that Gamaliel talks to me? I didn't even know who that was. I had read the Bible. Excuse me. But I didn't know who Gamaliel was. And I got this name. And I wrote it down and I just kind of ignored it. I just wrote it down and, like, left it. You know, just took, like, a quick note. It's in one of my notebooks. And then I was listening to a YouTube video about... Anyway, it was reading. It was like, you know, the audio of the Bible. And I heard the name Gamaliel and I thought, what? And then I went back, like I was moved to go back. I was prompted by Spirit to go back into my notebooks, and find where I wrote that name down. And sure enough, same name. I was shocked. I mean, anyway, and Gamaliel is the leader of the Sanhedrin in the Bible during the time of Christ. And, well, he wasn't Christ until he was crucified, but during the time of Jesus Christ's ministry here on earth. And so, it felt like every time... God, you're so pretty. So anyway, Gamaliel told me, well, he didn't tell me, but he asked me to mention this experience that I had. And so, here goes. The, one of the times that I was camped up in the same spot, it's like in a grove of trees. It's kind of an odd place. But there's a rock up here that's called Gibraltar Rock. And I had been having intense visions. And I had been fasting for quite a while by then. I think for maybe like a month. And then I had felt a spirit here. Like distinctly felt a spirit. And one day I was up here and I felt him again. And he looked like a cloaked figure. And he had like a bloated face. Kind of looked like a fish face. I don't know how else to explain it. Like big lips, like protruding lips. Big old lips. Like not normal though. Not like not attractive. And like a bloated, like bluish yellow face that was kind of like green in some spots and kind of had scales and these really small beady eyes. Like not human. Not at all. And he just was sitting on one of the rocks watching me. Wouldn't talk to me. Wouldn't say anything to me. I later learned that was Asmodeus. Welcome to my world. And so I basically just ignored him because that's what he was doing to me. I mean, he was staring at me, but he wasn't saying anything. Nothing at all. Like nothing at all. Just watching me. Totally silent. Like internally silent as well as externally silent. Like he didn't say anything to me. Bella, that's enough. Not right now, please. And, stop. Stop or I'll start nibbling on you. God, you're so cute. Stop. God, you're so cute. Leave it, Moo. I mean it, Peanut. So, I leave it. So I just kind of ignored it because he went away. I didn't see him with my eyes. It was a vision that I had, like an open vision with my eyes open. But he was sitting right there, like just right across the way from where I am right now. And he spends a lot of time up here. But, and he usually terrorizes people, but he didn't even say anything to me. Nothing. He was just kind of like observing me. So that night, I woke up at like 2:30 in the morning or something. And it was the middle of the night, and I know it was 2 something. It was 2 something a.m. And I get up, and I'm told to go for a walk, like not a walk exactly, but a hike up the rock. And I'm like, what? It's 2:30 in the morning. Like, why? And it was pretty cold. It was springtime like it is right now. And I'm like, what? So I go, and I had a little flashlight with me, like just a little handheld flashlight. Pretty powerful, but still just like a little flashlight. And I go hiking up the rock. I had my keys with me. I left Bella in the car, which is odd because I usually take Bella with me. She was asleep. And she usually gets up, like the moment I get up, she gets up, but she didn't at this time, so I left her in the car to sleep. And I get up to the top. I don't think I went all the way to the top. I went about 3/4 of the way up. And I get up there and I'm feeling really weird. Like I'm on the moon or something. I mean, everything just looks really kind of like eerie, and there was clouds passing over passing over us up here on the mountain. And so it was like passing cloud cover. And I don't know if anybody's seen this movie, but it's Final Fantasy IV, I think it is. Or no, it's just called Final Fantasy, excuse me. And it's one of the first computer-generated movies, like full-length movies that they ever made of, like, just, it's all computer-generated. And it's like animation. And in this movie, there are, at one point, like, okay, so in that movie you see that, like, spirits are, like, dwelling in the same plane or dimension as humans. And when they touch humans, they, like, mess with the humans' cellular structure, and it ends up killing the human. Or, like, it takes their soul. Something like that. And in this movie, at one point, you see, like, the previous inhabitants of the earth, like whales, like, swimming, flying in the air rather than under the water. And they're all shown as, like, this, like, floating, like, big giant fish and whales and this kind of thing. But they're in the air, not in the water. And that's what I was seeing that night. Like, I mean, it was uncanny. It was kind of unsettling because it was like being on the bottom of the ocean looking up is kind of what it made me feel like. And I was pretty disturbed by this. Like, it didn't scare me exactly, but after seeing Asmodeus earlier that day, and then this gigantic vision, I mean, this vision was, and I think it's like the open visions are something different because my eyes are open, like I'm fully awake, fully conscious when they're happening, and this one was just so immersive. I mean, it was like I was there. I mean, I was there, but it was extraordinary. But it was also one of those things where you just feel dwarfed by, like, I mean, it's like staring into eternity. It's just really, like, makes you feel really small. But, like, all these spirits of these gigantic animals were aware of me. And so they were prehistoric, like they weren't things that we necessarily have on this earth anymore, but they were, like I said, it was like being at the bottom of like an alien ocean looking up. That's what this felt like. It was as though I was viewing ancient oceans. I mean, from like the bottom of the ocean. And I know that at one point this area was underwater, was under seawater. So it makes sense that that's what I was seeing. But still, I mean, this was, I don't know, I wasn't really used to having visions at that point. So I was, like I said, I was a little bit bothered by this. I mean, not bothered, but like, I mean, it's just so weird when it first starts happening to you. When you first start having visions and things like that. It's so intensely different than anything you've ever experienced in your life that it's just weird. And it takes time to get used to. And I definitely was not used to it yet. So, the camera was over dirty. So anyway, I remember trying to get back down the rock. And I could not find my way down. Couldn't do it. I had a flashlight and everything. I had the car keys with me, so I was clicking the alarm because I like couldn't even figure out where the car was. And this is And this is very odd for me because I have rarely lost my way, especially in my own hometown. Like anywhere in my hometown, I know where I am. I know exactly where I am. And even all the trails and everything, all the hiking trails and everything else up here, it's very hard for me to lose my way. And yeah, I mean, this was just so odd that I like completely didn't know how to get down. Couldn't figure out how I got up, didn't know how to get back down. And even clicking the car alarm was not helping me. Like, you know, clicking the button so I could see where the car was and like kind of get my bearings. Even with a flashlight, I was totally lost. And I started to feel this panic rise up in me, and I immediately knew that that wasn't going to help anything. So, God dang, it just like got much warmer. Or I just got warm. That is so odd. Did it just get warmer, or is it just me? I feel heat. Like it was about same temperature. I was much cooler when we first got up here. Odd. Anyway. So I go back to where I was sitting when I first started having the vision, and I sit down on this big ass rock. Of course, all the rocks up there are pretty big, and I just sit down and breathe. I was doing like alternate nostril breathing, not like alternate. I was doing alternate nostril breathing. And I'm sitting there just watching these, gigantic, whale looking, they weren't whales, but they looked kind of like whales. Like that's the most similar thing I could, you know, like they looked similar to whales, only like these gigantic prehistoric creatures. I'd never seen anything like that. But, Belle, stop, honey. So this breathing was helping me. And I mean, I had to sit there for probably 20 minutes and just breathe. Nothing else. I couldn't, like this fear, this panic came upon me, and I'm not used to feeling afraid or panicked about anything. But this really got me, knocked me down kind of thing. 14:44 on the timer. And, anyway, finally, slowly, my breath, you know, got in a pattern, and I was able to calm myself down. And I just started, there's like maybe 3 or 4 ways down from that rock. So I just kept going down. I just kept going down, like descending the rock just a little bit and then just a little bit until I figured out how I had gotten up. And I know now all of this sounds absolutely ridiculous to me because I know exactly how to get up and down. But this night it was like I was in a totally alien place. I didn't know I didn't know how to get back down. So anyway, I did make it back down, obviously, and I got a hold of myself and brought that confrontation with fear in check, like made my fear obey me, kind of thing, not the other way around. And anyway, that was the experience, but I'm supposed to relate it to you for some reason. I don't exactly know why. I remember and I'm pretty sure it was Asmodeus talking to me in my mind and telling me, you know, what if you don't find your way back? What if this and that? What if that? And it was in those moments when I chose to get a hold of my breath and to make my fear work for me, not the other way around, that I was able to get a hold of myself and like submit myself to the Father, put everything in his hands and just do what I can do, which is get my breathing in check. And when you bring your breathing in check, there's not much that can rule over you. Of course, submitting to the Father is the first and foremost thing to do. But getting your breathing in check is very important. 17:11 on the timer. So, along with the other 2 strange things, like seeing Asmodeus earlier that day, and the fact that he looked like a fish. I mean, that's what he gave off, like a fish vibe. I don't know how else to explain that. But his energy was giving fish. Like ancient fish. And then seeing this vision of like this ancient, well, I mean, what looked like alien to me, but then I don't know what the oceans look like. You know, like when they were first created, I don't know what kind of creatures were in there. So having this vision of all these giant creatures around me kind of threw me off. Obviously, I think that would throw anybody off, but getting control of my breath really made all the difference that night. And once I calmed down and stayed calm for a good chunk of time, I was able to find my way down easily. And I thought to myself, how did I ever not know how to get down? But hindsight is 20/20. So anyhow, I hope this video finds you blessed. The Lord loves you beyond all reckoning. It's just such an amazing thing to walk with the Father. I highly recommend it and encourage anybody and everybody to walk with him. I hope this video finds you blessed. Love, blessings, and compassion to everyone. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Peace be with you.